Now, the last two presentations will focus on China after the journey in Italy and in Poland and in mid Asia. We now come back to China. The first presentation will be given by Professor Kwok Wai Luen from Baptist University of Hong Kong. The topic is the West and the formation of Hong Kong Protestant Christian leaders in 1980s and 1990s.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm come from Hong Kong, Hong Kong Baptist Universities. I'm aware that I should be the only paper present from the perspective of the Protestant Christianity, and so I am deeply grateful that Vichy Institute and also University of Macau invite me to come to this event and celebrate the 700 anniversary of the Meteorology. And actually, I would like to say that our university, Hong Kong Baptist University, has a quite close collaboration with Catholic Church and also Catholic academic institutes as well. Actually, 3 days ago, we have a conference on AI ethics and East Asia culture with dicastery for culture and education of Vatican. And so, yeah, I hope that maybe my participation of this conference is another beginning, of the friendship and collaboration with Catholic friends in Macau. My presentation also concentrate on Chinese experience, about the West, because today's most of the presentations is about how the West, coming to China, and then they have some bring some cultural exchange or cultural experience back to Europe or influence China. And so actually this is about the stories, two story, I would like to use two oral histories, to elaborate the experience and encounter of Western Christian culture, and how the Western Christian culture and the social experience, shaped the worldview and faith of some Hong Kong Protestant Christian leaders, in 1980s and 1990s. So it's a very contemporary historical research, and actually you can see that I'm not talking about that European Christians, I'm talking about Hong Kong Christians, I'm talking about their overseas experience, and their transnational experience or overseas experience is not from migration, but from education and work, And actually, you will find that it's because they are Hong Kong Christian, actually it's a very westernized society. And so the encounter of Western culture is not just from overseas, but also in Hong Kong society. And I am aware that actually because they are not migrants, to Europe or migrants to the United States, so their transnational experience is quite different from those migrants. And so their adaptation and transformation is also different from Chinese migrants, and so I would like to show that actually these research subjects, they have some kind of experience that to widen their intellectual horizon or theological horizon, even a kind of social imagination, and they apply their new knowledge and perspective that they have learned in overseas or they learn in Hong Kong, and then in their home city, and in some cases, actually, their influence reflects back to the West. And so, more interestingly is that this kind of overseas experience triggered a kind of Chinese identity consciousness, of these future leaders, when they went to overseas and then they have some kind of experience, but their Chinese identity has been triggered. But I am aware that also their so-called national identity is not the so-called patriotism, but they become to incorporate some kind of non-Chinese understanding of China, or non-Chinese affection towards China into their thought and vision. And so I found that actually there are subtle differences and similarities of identity construction between these Christian leaders and the so-called pro-China activists in 1980s and 1990s, especially in Hong Kong, I think, as well as in Macau, there's a so-called pro-China activists, so they have some similarities, but they have some very big difference, and in this paper, I actually originally I have three research subjects, one is Chao Ming King, and the second is Raymond Fong, and then the third one, interestingly, is Mr. Gideon Yong. I just know that yesterday he joined this conference, but happily he has not joined this conference today, because for the length of the paper, he's online. Because of the length of the paper, I cut his part. So I just present Chao and Fong. So this is Reverend Dr. Chao. Actually, Chao was born in 1913 in Shanghai, and his father actually is was a Baptist pastor, and also a journalist as an editor-in-chief of a Baptist journal. Actually, is one of the mostly circular journal, Christian journals in China. By that time they have over, I think, 50,000 per week have been circulated within China. And then in 1948, his whole family moved to Hong Kong, and then he started to have his education in Hong Kong, and finally graduate from Chinese University of Hong Kong, and then go to United States, graduate from the Wesley Theological Seminary, and finally Howard University. And then he stayed in the United States for a very long period of time. And then after the June 4 incident in 1989, he returned to Hong Kong and become General Secretary of the Hong Kong Christian Council in 1990. I think I should highlight some interesting things. You can see that Chao actually come from Baptist, but finally he returned to the Hong Kong Christian Council. Actually, Baptist is the so-called the evangelical fundamentalist denomination from the Protestant church, but the Hong Kong Christian Council is from the ecumenical church, and so actually he changed quite sharply in his theological outlook. And then you will find that he has a very important contribution to link up the mainland Chinese leader with the Hong Kong Christian leaders, and as well as Chinese officials. And so about overseas experience, actually, Chao, he said that he has the first overseas Christian experience is from American Friends Service Committee. Organized in Tokyo. If you know about the Society of Friends, actually is the Perseverance, Christian organization. He think that actually he found from that experience, he think making peace is important, and then you find that indeed, if in the whole life he tried to connecting people and making peace with everyone. Even maybe in some very hostile groups. And then another overseas experience is that in 1968, and then he started to study in United States, and he stayed in Washington, D.C. And he found one thing is that is the division between the black and the white people. And so he found that that is something that he think he would like to engage with, and so he went to the Wesleyan Theological Seminary. Why? Because he would like to study about theology and public policy, and indeed, then he also deeply interested in the about the black people, because if you go back to that time, it is the social movement, okay, led by the Martin Luther King, and so that's why maybe as a kind of minority, he's also interested in this. So he go to a university with a large black population, that is Harvard University, and then to study counseling. Okay, very interestingly. Okay, first public policy and then counseling. Okay, and he said that indeed, from Harvard, he has a lifelong impact. Okay, he learned how to communicate with different people, and also to help intergroup tension. Okay, and indeed, he has to share with one very important experience is that in Washington, D.C., he has encountered a kind of group tension between Chinese, okay, and black people. And he tried to negotiate with the black pastor and as well as the political leader, okay, and also the Chinese resident there. And finally, he found that it is a very fruitful experience, okay, because after that and even the Chinese and the black people, they have a very good relationship, and so this is his experience, okay. And then you will find that for Chao, he become a very well connected and resourceful pastor in the Washington D.C. It's very extraordinary, okay, because he's Chinese, okay, by there, okay, and he become to say that even he tried to connect Taiwan, okay, officials, okay, with the United States official after Taiwan being expelled from the United Nations, okay, and he suggests that the second point is the people-to-people diplomacy, okay, and so you can see that indeed it is very interesting one, okay, but whether he is identifying himself with Taiwan, no, because in 1979, and then he led a group of Chinese pastors, okay, to visit the embassy of PRC. Okay, and you can see that he would think that actually he tried to connect everyone. And so after 1990, when he returned from Hong Kong, he think that he would like to connect, okay, China with Hong Kong. And he has some kind of theological background to support himself. That is the process theology and process philosophy. Okay, this is a very long quote, okay, from his interview. You can only you may only read the red types, okay. He said that actually Hong Kong return to China is not Hong Kong's return to China, okay. Actually, it may be China's return to Hong Kong. Okay, so we can enter China and return to China. Therefore, okay, we deal with a process of research. Okay, one should not say that China swallowed you, nor said that Hong Kong swallowed China. I hope that Hong Kong Church can have more new ideas. And then I bring some new things from the United States. I have been in United States for more than 20 years. Hong Kong church leaders may not have similar experience. So not only did I take something from Hong Kong, I could also give something to it. So he thinks that actually this is the United States experience, okay, United States experience, and also the process theology changed his whole understanding about Hong Kong return to China and the political situation. Okay, and so actually he is very active to engage with the government-sanctioned church, okay, and also he tried to help the church to connect with Hong Kong Christians, okay. But more interestingly, finally, when I asked him how he identified himself as Chinese American, okay. He said that actually he, as a Chinese American, can contribute a lot to the United States, and also to enable the Chinese American to speak loudly that they are American citizens, okay, a kind of integration and inclusion mindset, okay. And also he think that the Chinese Americans should not only make contribution to China, but also to the United States. but finally he think that, okay, he is a citizen of God. Okay, so this is the third research subject. Okay, and then the second is Raymond Fong. Raymond Fong is somehow different from Chao. Okay, Chao, because he has overseas experience, okay, to study in the United States, but actually Raymond Fong can be considered as an elite, okay, in Hong Kong, okay, and because he graduated from University of Hong Kong in 1960s, okay, and then he become the Hong Kong Christian Industrial Committee director of the Hong Kong Industrial Committee, and then he because of this directorship, he become a kind of labor activist. Okay, but his leadership is very successful. So in 1981, he has been invited, okay, by the World Christian Council of Churches, okay, to become the secretary for evangelism. As I said, that he can be considered as a kind of elite. Okay, I will jump this because I see I do not have enough time. Okay, and then what is his very impressive Western experience? Okay, apart from the Hong Kong U experience like Oxford and Cambridge, okay, of 1960 era. Okay, he said that actually is from the so-called the Intervarsity Fellowship, organized that a Christian association or Christian camps, okay, in the Southeast Asia with students, okay, from United Kingdom and United States. Very interestingly, also this occasion is about peace and reconciliation. But Fong, unlike Chao, okay, Chao is from peace is very important, but Fong, after the workshop, okay, he and other students think that reconciliation is too easy. Okay, give talking from that. So they have something very different to think of. Okay, so the last point, he showed that, okay, Christian faith should not produce a mean sentiment of joyful tears. Okay, and so actually reconciliation should be about the concrete light. And so that's why after that he become a kind of labor activist. Okay, I would like to jump this. Okay, and so anyway, when he become a kind of later activist, he tried to integrate his understanding of a kind of evangelism and as well as the labor movement. Okay, he think that actually he is doing a kind of mission. Okay, but he think that, okay, when he doing about mission, he is doing evangelize the labor, but not by mainly the gospel, but by a kind of good life that CIC and him can bring to them. Okay, actually, he also think that actually he is not a kind of evangelical, but he can be also a kind of ecumenical leader. Okay, to bridge the divide that brought by the missionary in Hong Kong. Okay, and so he do something very bold. Okay, I would like to try also jump this. Okay, he tried to, okay, as a Christian labor movement originally, the Western missionary would like them just to have some kind of dialogue, but he think that dialogue is not enough. So actually, the Christian labor movement should negotiate with employers and government, so become a kind of pressure group. Okay, and also to call for the legal reform, and also he very bold that to contact with the Marxist wing of the labor movement in Hong Kong, and that is a kind of taboo in 1960 because just the communist labor union has the riot, okay, in 1967, and but he is bold enough to do this thing. Okay, and so indeed, because his accomplishment, he has been invited to the World Church Council of Churches, and indeed he also tried to use his position to invent a kind of theology of sin against. Okay, and so I think this is, if we talk about the Hong Kong Protestant theology, this is the most well-known theological theme, the theology of sin against. Okay, because after there's a lot of liberation theology also talk about this. So in some sense, okay, then you will find that he is not just only influenced by his colonial experience, but when he being awakened by that kind of reconciliation genre, he invents himself a kind of labor movement, and also invents his own theological theory, and then to influence back the West. Okay, but when we ask them, okay, actually, what is your national identity? He said that actually give before 1997, he would say that he has a Chinese identity, because in Switzerland he found that he is really a Chinese. But now in 2018, he said that he cannot deny that he is a Chinese. But he more and more aware of the unimportance of national identity. And he said that actually he would say that he would like to be identified with those people as sin against. And so finally, conclusion, I would like to summarize in few minutes. Actually, the post-colonial theory suggests that the overseas experience of colonial subjects constitute to the hybridity of identity. And from about oral history interviews, that one can notice that the hybridity does not mean deform or depart of one of the identities. Neither it does not mean that one of the identities become dominant or over other identities. Rather, the interviews show that the non-Chinese experience always create new resources and possibility for ministry of the interviewees. More importantly, one can find that the interaction provides opportunities to reflect Hong Kong or Chinese viewpoint, theology, and practice of faith back to the Western world. Cao is trying to invent a kind of good Chinese American identity, and then Feng is his theology of sin against actually influence the Western world. So actually, this is my project, of oral history. You can find it from Hong Kong Baptist University Library, and this is the QR code of that project. You can use this QR code to access to the oral history database. Thank you.